ugly. You are ugly. I'm sorry, that was mean. Ugly is a word that we use against the weak. It is mean to call someone ugly. It hurts their feelings. It does not hurt mine because I am beautiful. So calling me ugly is not effective. Try something else. Words can't hurt me because I can't hear you, but you can hear me right now. Ugly. Anyways, Ugly Dolls. It's an animated movie. This is a movie that is called Ugly for the dolls. But as you can tell, the dolls aren't really that ugly. This is an ugly doll. This is another ugly doll. These are really ugly dolls. These dolls, they're just alright. They're not really that ugly. But you know what is ugly? The movie itself. It's a disgusting, gross, depressing movie. A movie made for $45 million only to fail in the box office. But I only think that's because it came at the same time as Avengers Endgame. Obviously, if Ugly Dolls was released on any other day against anyone else, it would have been a powerhouse. This movie would have been all the rage, all the talk. It would have been a mega franchise. Can you imagine? Ugly Dolls is a 2019 animated horror that nobody heard of or watched. And if they saw the trailer, they thought it was a prank. This movie was made in a factory by artificial intelligence. You feed a children's movie script idea into an AI's mouth and it's like, nom nom, Ugly Dolls, nom nom, Kelly Clarkson, nom nom, Nick Jonas. It's just a movie with the most outright disregard for its fellow human being. Made to literally insult you emotionally if you watch. It's a musical, but it's not actually a musical. It's more like a music video. A $45 million music video that should be placed on the YouTube Kids app. This is just one of those movies that you see on Netflix that are just pumped out by European countries. Like the rip-off feeling animated movies that are completely awful, they're all over Netflix and Vudu. There's just hundreds. There's a new one like every single week. Yet this one was released widely, like it actually matters. And it's not just a Walmart $5 bin grab. It is, but you know what I mean. Ugly Dolls is a movie about accepting yourself, accepting the void of your life being confined to a tiny gray limbo-like world. It's a movie that you honestly just can't believe is real. Like honestly, I don't get it. How is it real? How is it real? Or am I the only one seeing it? Am I the ugly doll? Am I the ugly doll? The stars of this movie are all just singers, basically, who never really ever have voice acted. Like, there's Blake Shelton, that one guy from The Voice show, except his voice here is like he's sleeping on the mic.
I've run out of options here. She doesn't listen to me. I've done everything I can do.
There's a Blake Shelton restaurant near me, and the food sucks. That was unrelated, but I just wanted to share the failures of Blake Shelton because I'm a bitter boy. Boo! Boo, Blake Shelton. This movie begins with a shot of a factory making dolls. It's funny because it's just like how the movie was made, just pumped out through a production line. We see the dolls that are slightly different being rejected. Oh no, they all end up in Uglyville. That's where your mom lives. I'm sorry, that was mean. And then we meet our main character, Moxie, voiced by Kelly Clarkson. I'm gonna call her Smallpox because that would be way more enjoyable to think about. We get a big song already, basically the theme song. It's upbeat, it's not garbage, but at the same time it is. It's basically just like everything is awesome montage because she goes throughout the city and it's a big bright montage. Ooh, it's so colorful and bright, hiding the future realization of their bleak gray existence. Now, if this movie was made by anyone else, I would probably actually like this sequence. I loved Craft World type stuff like Little Big Planet or Tearaway. It's actually so pleasing aesthetically. But like, how does this game from 2008 get the Craft World type material stuff better than a movie that came out a decade after? They just simply don't care. They don't care to actually make it look like that. It's just so clear that this is one of those animated movies where the budget just isn't for the animation. We see how Smallpox wants to get the heck out of this Uglyville, and I get it. Get out of the movie, girl. Blake Shelton's character is like the head of everyone around here, and he's like, no, you can't do that. Do that and I'll kill you. But eventually, of course, she goes with a big colorful group of friends. You got the red guy who's nervous and shy and a little bitch. You got a gray big himbo guy, and then you got Ugly Dog, who is voiced by Pitbull. Now, that's funny, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because Pitbull, if you don't know, is a name for a dog, and he voices a dog. Truly, a genius movie. Like, wow. Oh my, I could never think of that. This group of ugly ass dolls goes through the pipe that could lead to the other side, and they do that. It's a very short, boring journey. It takes like 1 minute, and they do this because they can reach the perfect jerkwad town, which, as you can tell, is barely animated or actually designed. Like, the point of it is that it's supposed to be perfect. Everyone here is perfect. Oh yes, no issues or anything, kind of like the Addams Family movie kind of thing, you know? But that's how the movie stupidly gets away with creating absolutely no more animation assets. They don't have to keep the Uglyville stuff where it like takes very slight amount of work. No. Now they can copy and paste insanely empty areas for almost the entire rest of the movie. Genius. What a way to save on the actual animation, even though you got a pretty good budget. But yeah, they reach this perfect town where the dolls are perfect, I guess, and their perfect king is Nick Jonas, but he looks like Conan O'Brien. This movie is saying that Conan O'Brien is peak perfect. Now that's brave. Conan sings a song and sees the uglies and he condemns them. They don't look like me, so I will make their life terrible. But like with this song, he calls them ugly. Ugly. You know, the word ugly, right? You know, ugly is in the name of their town. They call each other ugly and everything. Ugly is like their word for smurf. You know, like smurf this, smurf that, smurf you smurfer. Like ugly is just them. And now all of a sudden, when this guy sings a song about them being ugly, it actually is bad. They are ugly is bad. What? For some unexplained reason, ugly, which has been their happy characteristic for their entire life, is now bad. Okay, yeah, sure, whatever. But that doesn't stop smallpox. They are staying right here because here they can be transported to the real world and be a doll for kids. They gotta go through training, but you know, it doesn't work. What does help is that there's a montage about changing their looks and being prettier, which okay. So this is an animated movie, very, very clearly about accepting yourself. You're not ugly, you're just you. You're just you. You're perfect just the way you are. But this is an entire song about blending in with the crowd, which is an actual line. It literally says conceal what's real. And it's not like they're being blind and dumb because this isn't what they should really do. And this song is actually like, oh no, don't listen to the song. No, it's a bright, happy song. Like this movie wants you to play it on the soundtrack. Like, yo kid, don't be real. Play this song about blending in and be like everyone else. It's actually kind of insane. And they don't really go back on this later in the movie. They just kind of keep it. It's very weird. Soon Blake Shelton comes to this side of the world and talks about how they all were first created. He talks about the factory and how they're all defects. He says how they're all trash, like actual trash, and that Uglyville is all that trash and where the ugly dolls go, which makes me question the buildings, the roads, the food. Is all made out of the ugly dolls? Is their entire town literally made from the flesh of their never-born brothers and sisters? Smallpox is literally sleeping in a bed made from the guts and brains of her own kin. That's wow. That's something, man. But as they soon learn, their existence of Uglyville becomes gray and hopeless, sad. Don't worry, it doesn't really last long, and they go back to the perfect town to fight in like a battle royale to get to the real world. There's like a big robot baby that's really scary, and then they fight Conan O'Brien and they beat him. And then they merge their feeble existences and Smallpox goes to the real world and she gets a human. And the funny part about this is that they mention how one day Smallpox will be back because her human will die. Oh man, I wish they went into that a little bit further because it's literally like Toy Story. These immortal toys whose entire purpose is to be with these humans have to go through different lives for eternity. They will see countless humans die and turn to dust, but what happens when Earth eventually dies? Will they die too? Or will they be stuck in their void between nowhere? Constantly more will be created in this factory. Maybe some will actually come out increasingly ugly and monster-like. What if war breaks out between civilizations? It's not like their world is massive, it's just two small cities. There's an ocean, but where does it lead? If they travel to find more, will they just be lost in yet another endless abyss? Their entire existence doesn't matter. And that's Ugly Dolls. This is obviously a terrible movie made for money that it couldn't make back in box office. It was based on real life plush dolls, like how Barbie has movies or Bratz dolls. but I honestly like how the ugly dolls look in real life. The stitching is cute and the eyes are cute, but in animated form, they're just they're nothing really. They didn't really care about the detail that makes the ugly dolls like their real life counterparts. At the end of the movie, when the worlds are combined, there's a slight glimpse at something creative, like the worlds mixed together. And it's just like for 3 seconds, it's just, if they only went a little bit further, you know? This is a movie with an unclear message that says to accept yourself, but also does not want to. It doesn't care, it just wants to reach its runtime. And I hate that. Why can't we have animated movies that actually surprise us, that aren't from the studios that monopolize pretty much every animated market nowadays? But no, this is just a crap, garbage animated movie that literally didn't care when it strangely could be better. If the world actually dived into the craft world aesthetic, if the voice actors actually voice acted, if the writing wasn't written by artificial intelligence, if the human looking dolls didn't look like actual ass. Recently, I've just been wanting to be surprised by things. I don't want to be bitter against every terrible property because I want potential to be in the stupidest places that no one realized. You have the budget to go the extra mile, more than you clearly did, and you just nothing. You just made something ugly feeling, and that sucks.